Welcome students to the subject Computer Fundamentals. In the today's class we will discuss about some of the important input-output devices like keyboard, mouse, joystick, light pen and scanner. So actually in the syllabus we are going to have this detailed study in the third and fourth unit, but for time being we will be studying what are the different types of keyboards and mouse that we have and what are their applications. In brief we will be discussing. The first one that we are going to discuss it was the keyboard. As all of you might seen this keyboard, but this keyboard is similar to the olden days what you can call as a typewriter. So in the earlier days we had the typing machine or the typewriter. The pattern, if you observe here, the same pattern is maintained, or we can also call this type of keyboard as the QWERTY keyboard. The meaning here is because it starts with QWERTY. So this standard model that we are going to use or we are using, that we call it as the QWERTY keyboard. Before to this we had different types of keyboards as well, but this was the standardized keyboard that we are using almost like from last 20 years. And these days if you observe this keyboard, this is not available in case of the laptops. In laptops we have fewer number of keys in fact, but whereas when you consider this keyboard, this is the keyboard that is used for the basically for the desktop computers. And these days we are having this USB keyboards. In the earlier days we use this PS2 connectors. So how this keyboard is segregated and what are the different sections that are present on the keyboard, let us understand this. So we have this alphabets, all the alphabets from A to Z. So this has made one section, and then above that we have the numbers from 0 to 9, and then we have some special function keys, we call them as the function keys, and then we have some other keys, we call them as the navigation keys, and then we have separate numeric keys. And all these different parts of the keyboard have different functionalities, like we have this shift key, control key, alt key. So all these have got specific functionalities. So let us understand in brief about these functionalities. So the keyboard is the most commonly used standard input device. So the most of the time that we use is the keyboard and mouse. So before the mouse we used everything in terms of keyboards, but for the graphical user interface we use the mouse. So whenever we want to give character input, when we say character, it can be alphabets or alphanumeric as well. So it is suitable for command line character user interface environment. So whenever we want to type something or when we want to give input in terms of characters or alphabets, in that case we use this keyboard, because keyboard has got lot of shortcuts compared to the mouse. So we prefer using the keyboards. Most of the time when we are using in office work, in that case we use this keyboard. So the keyboard has got different standards, or the number of keys that we have on the standard keyboard is 105, but in some other keyboards we may have 101 keys. It slightly varies from one keyboard to another keyboard, but most of the standard keyboard has got 105 keys. So the types of keys that we have, that is alphanumeric. So when we say alphanumeric, it is the characters or the letters in the English literature that we have A to Z, capital A to Z, and then small a to Z, and also we have this digits from 0 to 9, and then some special characters like or symbols, we can say less than, greater than, or star, comma, semicolon. So all this comes under the category of alphanumeric. So remember this term alphanumeric. Whenever we say alphanumeric, it includes all the characters. It can be alphabets, small letters or capital letters, and it can be digits, and also it can have the special symbols like mathematical symbols or less than, greater than, so on. Then in the second part we have some special keys. So that special keys can be segregated again into two types. The first one is shift keys and the toggle keys. So like we can have this control button, alt, shift, all these called as the shift keys. And then we have something called as toggle keys, that is caps lock button, num lock, insert, scroll lock. So all these are the toggle keys. And then we have the functional keys F1 to F12. So in the alphabets, as you can see, all these are written in the capital letter. But when I want to, usually when you open a notepad or when you open a word file, so by default when you start typing, it will be always in the small letters. So if you want to type something in capital letters, or if you want to type a paragraph in capital letters, so that time what you can do is you can press this caps lock. So the moment you press the caps lock button, there will be a small light that will be on, and you can see that the capital letter is on, and you can start typing. So by default, or if you want to change it, again you can press the caps lock button, again it will be off, and we can type with the small letters. Then we have this space button. So whenever you want to give a space, so that we can call this as the space bar. And then we have this special buttons like shift keys, alt, control. So like for example, we have Windows button. So whenever you want to start the Windows menu, so instead of going to the start menu and clicking on that, directly if you press this Windows button, it will be automatically the pop-up window will appear. Similarly, we have this shift button. So for example, when you want to select everything in a document, we can use shift all or shift A. So like for example, when you want to copy something and paste it something, that time we can use this. So we need to use, whenever we are using these special keys, we will be using two buttons simultaneously, like for copy and paste. So for copying something, we use this Control and C together, and when you want to paste it in some other directory or in some other folder, we can use this Control V. So simultaneously we need to use it. Similarly, we have when you want to take a printout, so directly there is a shortcut button. For that we can use Control P. So when you press these two buttons together, automatically the panel will open for this printing, and you can take the printout of any document. And we have the numbers here, and above that numbers we have these special symbols. So let us say I want to put this @ symbol or hash symbol. So if I just press these buttons, 2 and 3 will appear on the screen or on the Word document. But if I want to use @ or hash, what you have to do is you have to press the shift button. With that you have to click on this @ or 3. So because these buttons have got two operations, two functionality. By default they will be working as 1 2 3 4 5, but if you want to use their special meaning like @ hash, dollar, okay, percentage, so all these symbols if you want to use, you have to press the shift button and then you have to use this. So basically you will understand this in more detail when we start studying about the MS Word, so where we will be using all these shortcut buttons and all these features. Next we have this function keys. So these functional keys are made for special purpose, like when we want to use the help menu. So whenever you are using any software or in any window, when we want to use the help option, we use this F2 button. So all these are having some special functionalities, so that's why we call them as the F1 to F12 are categorized as the function keys. Other than these numbers, again we have separate numeric keypad. So why it is required? See, whenever we are calculating something, or it looks like a calculator, so when we are working on Excel sheet, or when you, for the example accounting people, they will be doing lot of calculations, accounting work. So that time we will be using only the numbers or only the digits we will be using, and we will be using plus, minus, okay, division, all this. So when we are doing lot of calculations, that time we can press this numlock button, the numeric keypad will be available, and then we can start using them. Similarly, we have this navigation keys. So like we have up, down keys, left, right. So when we want to move the cursor from left to right or right to left, for all those things we can use this navigation keys. Similarly, we have page up and page down. So all these application you will understand when we start using the Word, MS Word. We need to understand the meaning of toggle here. Toggle means it will change the state, like we have this caps lock. So what this caps lock will do, the moment I press on the caps lock button and when I start typing or when I press on these alphabets like ABCD, so it will be typed in capital letters. So it is changing the state from small letters to capital letters. So that's why we call it as the toggle keys. Again, if I press the caps lock, again it will return back from capital letters to again small letters. So that's why these keys are called as the toggle keys. Toggle means changing the state from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0, or going one step ahead, and when you press on that button, again it will return back to its original state. Like again we have this print screen and scroll lock. Like in mobile devices, most of the time we take the screenshot. Similarly, when you want to take a screenshot of your monitor or your desktop, whatever you are seeing, so if you press on this print screen button, whatever is present on your entire monitor screen, that will be captured. The only thing that you need to remember is how many keys are present on the standard keyboard, and the name of this keyboard we can say it as the QWERTY keyboard. And we have this different types of buttons or keys. They are segregated as typing keys, number keys, function keys. We can have navigation keys and numeric keypad, and all these have different functionality. As you start using some applications, like when you start using the MS Word or PPT or Excel sheet, that time you will understand more detail about the power of using these different letters and different keys. Now let us discuss about the one more important, more frequently used input device is the mouse. So basically to overcome the drawback of keyboard, like even though keyboard has got a lot of facilities, but keyboard was used only for the purpose of character input, we can say. But most of the time when we are dragging and dropping, we call it as taking one particular file and placing it in another directory, or moving around the window. For that we require this in simple clicks we want to do that particular task. So for that we have this mouse. So it is suitable for graphical user interface. So most of the time when we have some icons or drop down menus, for all those things we use this mouse. So we want to do all this operation with simple mouse clicks. So for that we use this mouse. So this is the typical mouse that was originally designed almost like 20-25 years back. So we don't use we rarely get to see such mouse in these days. But to understand what all it consists of, it basically allows for the random movement on the screen. Like I'm using the mouse here, so this is all operated by the mouse. So random movement, which is not possible with the help of the keyboard. So I can drag it, I can drop it. So to all do this random movement, we use this mouse. So it basically contains a left button, right button and scroll button. So even though the operation of this, the designing of the mouse has been changed, but this feature is going to remain same. So we have left button, right button, and then we have this scroll button. And we have different types of mouse like mechanical mouse, optical and cordless mouse. So below this mouse, if you observe, this is the internal diagram of the mouse. Consists of a small IC and connected by some wire cables, and it has got a wheel, or you can say a ball. So the moment you move this cursor, the moment you move this mouse on the table or on the surface, this rotation will happen. The ball will rotate on the table or on the pad, you can say. As it rotates, you can move the cursor, or you can place the cursor at particular position. And to select something, we use this left button, and to right button, to click some operation, we use this left button, and to select something we usually use this right click. Suppose I want to use this, so this is done by the right click. So when I press on this right click button, this is what you get. So to know this and what happens exactly, so for that we use this mouse. Just to give a small example, the advantage of using the mouse is, suppose I want to go to this particular tab. These are called as the tabs. So I can directly click on this, or I can click on this. So this is how we can use this with the help of the mouse. But with the help of keyboard also we can do it, but it requires a lot of shortcut buttons. So instead of doing that, I can directly select this background style, or I can drag and drop this. So all these I can do. Suppose I want to do, or I want to design, or I want to insert a text box, directly I can drag it. Okay, I can put it here. So all these operations are easily available. So I can directly put a text box here. So whenever we are having such operations, drag and drop we call, so we use this. So this is I want to put, so this I need to select with the left button, and then I need to hold this, and then when I come here I can put this. So this is the advantage of having this mouse. So whenever we have drag and drop or menu based options, we can use it. Similarly, when I select this and right click on this, then you will get all the different options that you can do. So if you want to change the color of this, or if I want to make it bold, so I can make that, or if I want to change the color, I can change the color of it. So all these operations can be done just by using the mouse clicks. So I need to select it first, and then if I press on the right click of the mouse, then you'll get all the different options. So these are the mechanical mouse, so that we used in the earlier days, but now these days we are using this optical mouse and cordless. So this actually consists of a wire or PS2 connectors that has to be connected to the back panel of your CPU. But these days we are getting optical mouse and cordless mouse, no need to connect the wires and all. So this is the example of a optical mouse where it consists of optical sensor will be there, and based on the mouse movement we can do the operations. So again, optical mouse can be wired or wireless, and similarly this cordless mouse, so no need to have this wire connection. So it is very handy, and you can just plug this USB connector. So the moment you connect this USB to your laptop or key of this CPU, you can start using it. It works on the concept of a small cell will be there, so till the end of battery life it will work. So the moment we are not able to work with this, we need to change the batteries or the small cells present on this. So most of the time we are in these days we are using this cordless mouse or optical mouse. And one more thing we need to discuss about this is, mouse will be having this scroll button, so where you can scroll the options, or you can scroll around the document. The important thing that we need to remember is left click, right click, and the scroll button. And when you want to move the position of the mouse, you need to just move your mouse on the surface, and it is a pointing device, so it points, it has this pointing option, so where it can point it. The next input device that is used is the joystick. Most of the time children like to use this, or they want to play with the games, so for that we use this joystick. So as you can see, there are different varieties of different companies, and different manufacturers have different types of joystick. So but the concept remains same. So this is also used for the graphical user interface, and it allows the movement of cursor on the monitor screen. And as you can see here, with the mouse I can just move around this x-axis or y-axis, but whereas in case of a joystick we can have three-dimensional movement, like we'll be having x-axis this, and y-axis and z-axis. So we can forward from up, down, right, left, and also we can move around the circle, or in a 360-degree movement can be done by using this joystick. And it is also used in computer games, as well as this computer aided design, or we call it as the CAD. Like for example, when we want to mechanical engineers, when we want to design the vehicles or the four-wheelers, so for that all we use this computer aided design. So most of the time it will be used by the mechanical engineers, or this in the software that we use, computer aided design. So we have CAD and CAM tools, so for all those things they use this joystick. So it consists of some buttons here, left button, right button, so we can use this. And also if you observe, this looks like similarly to the gear shift of our four-wheelers. So as you can move this from left to right and right to left, similarly we can, when you want to rotate this, you can rotate this entirely. This it consists of a stick, you can say. So with that we can hold it here and we can rotate it as and when required. So when we want to when we are using it in the computer games, when we want to move the players and all, so we can use this joystick. Next we have is the light pen. So it is a pointing device similar to a pen, like also we can call it as a stylus, where we have this touch screen like in our ATM systems that we use, or in earlier days when we had the smartphones, they used to come up with a small light pen. Even these days these are available. So instead of using mouse, we can use this light pens, and you can easily draw the images, or diagrams can be drawn. And also we can have this menu items when we want to drag and drop some options, and when we are designing some diagrams or charts. For all those things we can use this light pen. So basically again it can be used to draw the diagrams or pictures easily on the monitor screen. So it consists of a sensor. As you touch the screen, so as to you touch the screen, that sensor will recognize that with the monitor screen, and as you go on drawing this, the diagram will be appeared, or it will be generated. Next we have is the scanner. So basically scanner, most of you might have seen the Xerox machine. So in the Xerox machine, what we get when you want to take a hard copy, or when you want to duplicate a copy, we use that Xerox machine. But when we want to take the soft copy, we can say, or the image of a document or a hard copy that we have, or a paper, we can use this scanner. So what it will give? It will give a hard copy image into an electronic form. So whatever the paper or page that we are placing on the scanner, it will be exactly converted into a soft copy, or like a image will be generated. So it consists of uses a beam of light which produces reflections of the image, that is converted into electronic form. So basically the hard copy, whatever we have, that can be converted into electronic form. The difference that you can observe in the Xerox, even if the input that we are giving, even if it is in terms of color copy, the Xerox that we get is the black and white itself. No doubt we have this color printers as well these days, but Xerox can give only the black and white copy. But with the help of scanner, we can get the soft copy of this document or the paper that we are given as a input. So these are some different types of scanners that we have. We need to just remember what are the types: flatbed scanner, sheet fed scanner, handheld scanners. The most of the time that we use in like in the shopping malls and wherever we want to scan something, so that time we use this handheld scanners. And other scanners are drum scanners. So these are the some of the input devices that we have. So these are the some brief introduction about these different input devices. Thank you all.